Hey guys, it's Carlotta from Body Candy, and today I am getting ready to make some summer goodies. We are trying to stay festive and stay with our light and neon colors for this launch. Um, because May 9th is Cinco de Mayo and we want to stay within that theme. I got these cute little paper straws from Family Dollar. So I will be using these, guys. How cute. And these are multi-purpose straws. And I can get so many mini straws out of each pack. It's like not even funny. It's like such a bang for your buck. So I will be putting frosting in the center of these bath bombs. And I will be adding in the little paper straws into the frosting. And if you guys aren't familiar with my frosting recipe that I will be using, you can check back to my other videos and you will be able to see me make the frosting, and you can make your own frosting free of charge, guys, because I know back in the day when we first started making bath bombs, a lot of this stuff was not available, and even to this day some cool recipes you have to purchase. But I said once I get some of this stuff down pat, I'm going to share it with my fellow bath bomb makers so we can all enjoy the fruits of the labor. So what I have here is my basic recipe. You guys know 2 parts baking soda, 1 part citric acid. I've added polysorbate 80 into the mix. I have extra virgin olive oil and sunflower oil, and I have my cornstarch and my cream of tartar. The cornstarch adds more bubble effect. The cream of tartar, which is optional, adds more of a harder bath bomb. I found that the mix is much more smoother when you use this recipe, and it just works for me. But you don't have to add the cornstarch or the cream of tartar. Your bombs will do perfectly well without it. That's just something that I wanted to share with you guys. And I also have SLSA in here. But again, that's your personal preference if you want that in there. It's up to you. And SLSA is a bubble agent. So that's it. So basically, before I get started, I always, sorry guys, test my mix. So I take a little thing and I dip some in there to check the foam and the fizzy effect before I even get started, to see how it holds up, how the foam reacts. And it's doing beautifully, as you can see. Pretty bubbles. All right, so we're ready to start. So if you guys don't know, which I'm sure you do because there are tons of videos out here on how to make the middle indent in your bath bombs like I have over here. You just take your bath bomb and you take a smaller bath bomb, place it in the center, and you try your best to hold it because sometimes it likes to move, and you add your mix right on top of it. And I add a nice heaping amount to my first part. Put it to the side or put it back in your bowl, and then you only need to add a little bit of mix to your next side. Take it, press it together. Try to get it as even as possible. Add some pressure, and you're left with a ring. Now the ring is optional. If you don't want this little mini ring around it, you can totally decrease your mix amount that you put inside of your molds, and you will avoid having a Saturn ring, but I don't mind. I have a knife here, and I'll just tap it, and you should be able to easily release it. You have one side with the indent, and you have the other side with the plain bottom. So I like to put it back into the plain bottom and bring it out slowly. If you can, get it out. And then you have your indentation. Now, you see this on that side. I'm not happy with that. That makes me unhappy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my indentation back into the mold, like so. Sprinkle a little bit of bath bomb mix on the side that I'm not too happy with, and I'm going to remold it. Because sometimes, I've been making bath bombs all morning, and I did not redust these metal bath bomb molds. They tend to stick, especially depending on the fragrance that you use. So we have to remold it again because you don't want your center falling apart. So that's why I love bloopers, so I can be able to show you the difference. You see? And I'm able to fix the problem and be able to, oops, I dropped the top, and be able to remove it nice and easily. See the difference? And then once the bath bomb dries, you're able to shake out any leftover debris that you may have. I try to sit them straight up. I'm trying a new technique of using bubble wrap. Well, a thicker bubble wrap to kind of flatten out. Not flatten out, but kind of making a makeshift bath bomb holder for my bath bombs. As you can see, I'm actually using a thicker bath bomb. Bubble mat thingy, bubble wrap. And I turn it on the flip side, so it's facing down and the bubbles are on the opposite side, so it gives it kind of a better cushion and no leftover crazy marks in your bombs. Give me 1 second, guys. I have to dry out my bath bomb with some alcohol because it fell. And I think it's time for me to get some new bath bomb molds because they are getting very sticky and they're not as good as they used to be, which can be a slight problem. They're all dented up. I've had them for a while, so it's time to, sometimes you just got to get some more. So here we go again. So guys, that's basically it. You just take it, hold it, press it down, and then do your other side. Well, I need more on that one. And that's it. I'm trying to do yellow, like a lime yellow. I call it lime yellow because it's really bright. And then the lime and green, and then I'm going to try to do a hot pink before the day's out. Again, guys, you squeeze it, clean up your Saturn ring, what I call it. And if you don't have enough mix in between your Saturn ring, add it. You guys, you cannot be afraid of your bath bombs. I spent so many years being afraid of my bath bomb mixes and all of that. And it's pretty simple. You know what I mean? You're in control, so don't freak out. Just fix it. Tap it all the way around if you can. And you'll feel the movement of it. It seems a little hollow. And there you go. You take the other side, release it, and then you go and you remove it. And it's hard to do with the gloves on. It's like a pain. Now, if you have another set, you can go ahead on and kind of leave them overnight. That would be amazing. But if you don't, you know, just put your fan on in your kitchen so your mix can dry, and you'll be perfectly fine. I'm gonna move these over a bit. Because I use like cream of tartar and all of that in my mix, I don't really have too much of an issue, but just in case, you know, try to, you know, leave them in as long as you leave the indentation part in as long as you can if you're not using like a hardener like cream of tartar, because your mix, because your whole may, you know, it may collapse if you're not really familiar with making it. So practice makes perfect. I just started using the cream of tartar within the last year or so. So believe me, I used to make them without it, and it was okay. But you want them to dry really quickly and be really hard, use cream of tartar. And then you just take it off. Yeah. Another bomb. And move it slowly, as you can see, and place it down. I was supposed to put bath salts in these, but I'll probably put them around the rim when I'm done. Oh, that's a great idea. See, I wasn't even thinking of that. I may do some salt around the rim. Maybe this might be a margarita bath bomb. I don't know. You think of things when you're working, it just comes to you. I have to make sure I write it down because I will forget what I just said, guys. Okay, so take it. Uh-oh, got a little slippery. Squeeze it down. And don't be afraid to dump your bath bomb and do it again, because it'll be just fine. Your mix will be fine. Sometimes you're like, oh, I'm going to just leave it like that. If you don't like it, throw this back in here, girl, and start over. Do not set yourself up. I don't like it, I don't care if it's sitting in the bin, I will take it, throw a little bit of alcohol on it, and redo it. Like this one, look, just speaking of which, look at that, lopsided. No, honey, we don't think so. We're going to take that out, and we're going to remix. I don't need to add any alcohol more in here to remix it, but sometimes if your mix is actually dry, or maybe you had them in the rack and you're like, I don't really like how that's looking, you may have to add some more alcohol. Because sometimes your indentation, it moves around, so it can be crooked, and you don't want that, because what ends up happening is when you're trying to frost, your frosting looks crazy crooked, and that's not okay. You don't want your frosting looking like it had a couple of beers at the bar. But for everything else, it's handmade. My stuff will never be crispy clear or crispy clean or whatever. It's homemade, and I like it that way. Now, you guys can spend more time on making sure you press them in pretty good versus rushing. Take your time. I actually have to be to work in like a half hour, so I'm pretty big on time. So I'm a little rushy today, and I did not expect to be working. I just was not in the mood to make any bath bombs, to do any videos, and I said, girl, get up and get some work done and stop playing around. Get to this important stuff, because with the pandemic and stuff, y'all, it can be really depressing. But I'm still blessed. I'm working. I still have my job. Some people can't feed their families, so I'm really trying to humble myself in those areas, because it could be really bad, because some people have it really bad.